So we're going to do a quick podcast on blood pH levels. There's a lot of talk about that, a lot of controversy about it. To start, what your body wants is your body wants to be in a pH range. It wants to be from 7.35 on the lower end to 7.45 on the upper end, your blood pH. Your body fights to stay in balance. It fights really hard to stay in balance. And a lot of people talk about changing your pH to benefit it. There could be some possible benefits, not a change in the pH, but trying to manipulate it in a certain way. I'll talk about that at the end. But it's highly important. So 7.4 is the mid range. It's highly important that your body stays in that mid range. To talk about making your blood more alkaline is, if you go too far alkaline or too far acidic, not that far out of range, it's death. Either way, one way or the other. Too high, death. Too low, death. Your body fights to stay in a certain range really hard. So you're really not making your blood more alkaline or more acidic. You're maybe vaguely, like slightly manipulating the range a little bit, but your body fights to get back into balance. Okay. So out of range kills you. So we're not going to attempt to do stuff like that. It's one big thing that's really popular these days is alkaline water. So they want to raise the level away from acidity towards alkaline in the water to help your body have a better pH level. Doing that to me is crazy. If you ingest water, what's the first thing the water hits? Your stomach. Acid, stomach acid, highly acidic. And it's supposed to be. Your stomach is supposed to be an immensely acidic environment on purpose to break down food. That's very important. You're supposed to chew your food at least 24, something like that times and cover in saliva. That helps break it down. You can actually tell that's working by taking a carbohydrate that's not that broken down, like a dry piece of rice, put it in your mouth. If you leave it there over time, any carbohydrate, the more broken down it is, the sweeter it tastes. So refined sugar, it's been refined down, broken apart. The bonds that bond the carbohydrate together are broken apart. The more broken apart it is, the sweeter it tastes. So as that piece of rice, that grain of rice hits your mouth, it'll start to break down with your saliva, be a little acidic. It breaks it down. It starts to taste sweeter over time. Okay. And then it goes in your stomach. Your stomach really breaks it down. The reason that stuff tastes sweeter is because the bonds from the carbohydrate are broken, and that's easier on your body. It's easier for your body to absorb that and use it. And that's less work for your body. So your body seeks out stuff that's like sweeter because it just tastes good. And nowadays we don't have to survive all that hard. So you don't need a whole bunch of sweets. There's plenty of sweets out there. Now the problem is overeating them, right? Okay. But taking in stuff that's alkaline based to move us away from acidic is crazy, because your stomach is highly acidic. Again, I'll talk about the potential benefits of that in a second here. Guys will take alkaline water and show how acidic soda is, and they'll drop some soda in it and they can't get it to, it'll change color based on how acidic it is if you do certain tests with it. When you put a little soda in water, even in alkaline water, they can't get it to come out of acidity. So imagine putting stomach acid in there. Alkaline water is a waste of money, if you ask me. Again, your body wants balance. It doesn't want to lean really far one way or the other. The only potential benefit, I was going to make this a quick podcast, so just your body wants to be in balance. The only potential benefit is today we do a lot of things where it causes acidity. Okay. So maybe you could argue that your body's fighting to stay in balance. It's constantly being pulled towards acidity. And if you give it something alkaline, it doesn't have to fight so hard, which takes off some of the work that your body has to do. So instead of working on breaking things down or working to fight towards bringing your body to be more alkaline, maybe you breathe faster, you off gas stuff to be more alkaline. You could maybe argue that's a thing, that if you give it more alkaline based products, it doesn't have to fight so hard, because a lot of what we do creates acidity. Okay. That's the one saving grace argument, but it's up to you to experiment with that. There's a lot of stuff out there that's supposed to make your body more alkaline. It doesn't. What it does is it aids its fight to stop acidity. That's what's happening. and it stays towards balance. So if you're doing a lot of things that cause acidosis, maybe giving it something alkaline might help it not have to fight so hard to get back into balance. But again, you have to test that for yourself. So not testing your blood pH, but what should happen is if there's a lot of acidity being created, that maybe fatigues you as you're trying to run. And so you give yourself something that's more alkaline, maybe that's helpful. Maybe you get a boost in energy. Maybe it's a placebo effect, but you could try it on yourself. If it helps, people have sworn that giving themselves alkaline based things is helpful. But then again, if a lot of your things you did brought your body towards alkaline and away from acidity, then that could be detrimental because your body's going to be now fighting to get towards center because it's being pulled towards alkaline and it's going to want to fight to get back to the center. So it's going to fight to get back to be more acidotic. But most of what we do, bodily processes, doing cardio, breaking stuff down, a lot of that causes acidity. And so your body does have to fight to get more alkaline. So experiment with it, play with it, but please understand that your body wants balance. It's called homeostasis. And any veer from balance causes damage one way or the other. And when you go too far, especially when you talk about blood pH, that causes death, hands down, no matter how you look at it. If you were to, a good example is if you were to breathe too fast, if you stop breathing, your blood pH builds and get more acidic. Okay. And you'll eventually die, right? If you don't breathe. If you intentionally breathe too fast for someone, their blood will go alkaline. And then they are hyperventilating. They're breathing way too fast and they don't need to. They're not creating more acidity. They're just anxious and they're hyperventilating. They'll breathe faster, and their blood will get more alkaline. They'll start to finger start to creep up and they'll pass out. When you're passed out, you're not anxious anymore. So you're going to breathe normal. But if you stuck a tube down their throat and breathed for them and you didn't stop over breathing, they would die from an alkaline state, too high of an alkaline state. Or again, if you stop breathing, you'll die from too acidic of a state. Okay. So either way you look at it, it's bad. Balance and homeostasis. That's what we want. Okay. All right. If you do experiment with that, with giving yourself alkaline stuff, and you do find a benefit, let me know what you did. Otherwise, till next time. See you guys.